Right now at 10, an early morning house fire leaves 6 people dead, including 3 children. And rising river levels continue to impact the Coulee region. Plus, the U.S. Air Force Band treats lacrosse to a free show.
Watching WKBT Lacrosse. This is News 8 Now at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for News 8 Now at 10. I'm Emily Brown. Ken is off tonight. 6 people are dead, including 3 children, after a house fire in Necedah Sunday morning. Authorities were called to the fire on Morose Mile Road around 2:30 Sunday morning. The home was fully engulfed when crews arrived. Residents that escaped the building told responders that 3 adults and 3 kids were still inside. Firefighters stayed on scene for over 12 hours.
At around 2:30, she thought she heard something like mortars or bangs, which concerned her. She called the sheriff. The sheriff says, "Oh, you live on Morose Mile? There's a house fire there." And that's when she looked out the window. She woke me up, and the woods behind you were all just orange.
Investigators believe the fire was accidental. However, the investigation is still ongoing. Names of the victims and more details about the fire have not yet been released. A GoFundMe has been created for several of the victims and their families that can be found on our digital platforms. An Illinois man is dead following a crash near Decorah. The Winneshiek County Sheriff's Office responded to a report of a single vehicle crash around 1 p.m. Saturday. The vehicle, driven by 78-year-old Rodney Carlson of Hanover Park, Illinois, ran off Highway 9 near 260th Avenue. A witness told officers that the vehicle passed them at a high speed before swerving into a ditch. Carlson was ejected from the vehicle and died from a head injury. A 71-year-old man is dead after drowning at the McConna Dam. The Barron County Sheriff's Office was called to the dam Saturday afternoon for a report of a man going underwater. Investigators say the man took his 2 grandchildren fishing and swimming at the dam when one child began to struggle in the water. The man went to help both children get to a safe spot in the water when he suddenly went under and drowned. Both children were wearing life jackets. He was not. The 71-year-old's body was recovered during a dive rescue. The cause of drowning is still under investigation. Well, it's less than 48 hours away. Folks will be heading to Riverside Park for Riverfest, but parts of the park are still underwater from recent storms. News 8 Now's Jeremy Wall is learning how festival staff and the city are preparing for the festivities. Jeremy.
Emily, La Crosse Parks Recreation and Forestry tell me last year's flooding helped them prepare a little more this year. As always, though, safety is everything. They say they're paying close attention to the water levels.
The festival is a go, but the park is still flooded. Some parts of Riverside Park are completely submerged. But La Crosse Facilities and Marine Operations Manager Jim Flottmeyer isn't concerned.
As long as it stays kind of where it's projected to go at 14.9, it'll stay out of the park. It'll stay off the road for the most part. So we've got, various places barricaded.
The barricades are blocking access to the levees and closing off some of the sidewalks.
Riverfest themselves are going to try and pay extra attention to this part of the park.
There will be more security to make sure festival goers stay away from the water.
People are curious, they want to get close to the water, and we'd rather keep them away from it because the current is very swift right now.
Parks, Recreation, and Forestry is also staying diligent about watching the water levels. Recently, they've been paying attention to what goes underwater at certain levels.
This year we knew to be prepared with barricades and what had to be removed out of certain areas, porta potties and dumpsters and stuff like that had to come out of parks that were going to go underwater.
Flottmeyer says he hopes to see the water recede this week. He tells me folks should expect to see docks, levees, and sidewalks cleaned soon. Emily.
All right. Thank you, Jeremy. Well, hopefully those river levels do recede. Lots of activity going on there ahead this week, but we do have rain on the way starting this evening and going until tomorrow, Greg.
Yeah, we got rain that's going to go on here for the next day and a half. The good news is it really is not going to impact the Mississippi as much. That's going to be further downstream. But overall, we're moderate flood stage. The good news, the cresting Wabasha has now crested. It is beginning to very slowly fall. Winona's up next. They're going to slowly fall on the cross. Still crested about 15 feet. Potentially that will happen late tomorrow or early Wednesday, and then it's a very slow fall. It'll probably be in flood stage beyond the middle of next week too, so don't expect too much improvement on that. Overall, it's going to be a wet morning, really, especially for the morning commute, and then we'll kind of taper off a little bit closer to noon for both locations, given I think it'll be heavier amounts of precipitation for La Crosse and southward. Eau Claire, same story. They'll start seeing a little bit of a break later in the morning, but definitely will be wet for most areas. Right now, we have a line of showers. Some of that is reaching the ground. That's kind of the first couple lines we'll have. So we'll see off and on showers for maybe the next couple hours. Most of the activity is beginning to consolidate further to the west. That is, especially as you go to northwest Iowa, is what we're watching. So for the next couple hours, just a few showers and thunderstorms coming through. It'll be hit and miss for a while. Then we'll see the large complex begin to approach. It'll be after 2, and then it's going to be moderate to potentially some heavy rainfall depending on location as it comes through, really through the morning commute. The good news is eventually we might see a break, but it's not going to be till probably later in the morning. So right now, definitely a morning wet commute. We'll kind of break down if we're going to see a wet evening commute too, and then what the fourth also looks like a bit later in the broadcast.
All right, thank you, Greg. Governor Tony Evers in Eau Claire today to learn more about the city's efforts to fight PFAS contamination in its groundwater. The governor joined officials to tour a water treatment plant. He also heard a presentation on Eau Claire's proposed PFAS removal facility, which breaks ground next month. Fighting PFAS contamination has been a central part of Evers' agenda as governor. In Eau Claire today, Evers took time to explain why fighting the forever chemicals is more important than ever.
The bottom line here is that PFAS are still in our environment. People are still making PFAS, and people still are finding out at this point in time that PFAS are wrecking their water and making people ill.
Last year, the governor approved $125 million in funds to combat PFAS in the state's biennial budget. Republican lawmakers, however, have refused to release those funds. Governor Evers has since filed a lawsuit against the Republican-led Budget Committee. Just in time for Independence Day, people here in La Crosse got to enjoy a patriotic concert courtesy of the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America. The 90-minute concert was held at the Weber Center earlier tonight to honor our nation and military veterans. It was free and open to the public. According to the band's commander, getting the chance to connect with the community was a big part of what made the event special.
It's really a joy to see the uplifting environment that we can create for a community like this as we get ready to celebrate 4th of July.
All members of the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America are active duty airmen. The band performs for audiences throughout the Midwest, playing more than 400 shows every year. A new era began at UWL this afternoon. James Beebe officially took the helm as the 11th chancellor of the university today. The 54-year-old comes to La Crosse from Keene State College in New Hampshire, where he served as provost and vice president for academic affairs. Beebe, a first-generation college student from England, brings a wealth of experience in higher education. He says he spent recent months connecting with the campus and community, aiming to build a shared vision for UWL's future. The Salvation Army of La Crosse County is kicking off its inaugural July Giving campaign. The charitable organization is normally known for its holiday fundraising efforts, but growing need in the La Crosse area means the group faces rising costs in its quest to end homelessness. According to a press release, demand for Salvation Army services has increased 40% since last April. To make a donation for the July Giving campaign, go to salacrosse.org. Hunter Biden files a lawsuit against a major news network, why he claims they're smearing his name unlawfully in just a few minutes.
Senator Baldwin says I'm not from Wisconsin, but this was my childhood home. Graduated East High, became a Badger in '86, where I've had my company for over 20 years.
And this is where we live. It's our family home.
I'm a fourth-generation Wisconsinite. It made me who I am. If Senator Baldwin's not going to be honest with you about where I'm from, what makes you think she'll be honest with you about anything? I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
No matter where I seat my guests, they seem to like the kitchen best. A kitchen's the heart of the home. It should be warm and welcoming. It should be attractive and functional. But it can be a real challenge unless you come here where you can meet with a designer, find all of the products that you need, and trust the project to our carpenters, plumbers, and electricians. For kitchens, bathrooms, and other home improvements, put your trust in the Board Store Home Improvements. Contact us today.
It's Red, White, and Bargains during Hy-Vee's 4-day sale this Monday through Thursday. 6-pack bottles of Pepsi products, just $2.99 each when you buy 4. Whole seedless watermelon, just $3.98 each. Fresh ground chuck, just $3.98 a pound. Ritz crackers or Chips Ahoy cookies, just $1.99. Our special recipe brats or patties, 10 for just $10. And Lay's kettle cooked rolled gold or munchies, just $1.99 each when you buy 4. Monday through Thursday, only at Hy-Vee.
Former President Donald Trump is hailing Monday's decision by the Supreme Court on presidential immunity. The High Court ruled that former presidents are immune from criminal prosecution for their official conduct, but not for unofficial acts. CBS News correspondent Nicole Skanga has more from the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court decision marks the first time the justices have ruled that former presidents have substantial immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts. The 6-3 decision along ideological lines does not provide immunity for unofficial acts by a president. For now, the historic ruling extends a delay in the D.C. criminal case against former President Donald Trump, who faces charges he plotted to overturn his 2020 election loss.
That means the chances of a trial before the election are 0 at this point.
President Biden spoke about the ruling Monday night.
Today's decision almost certainly means that there are virtually no limits on what a president can do. This is a fundamentally new principle, and it's a dangerous precedent.
The district court overseeing the case against Trump must now examine some of the allegations within the indictment to determine whether they fall within the scope of immunity.
Chief Justice John Roberts wrote for the conservative majority that the president may not be prosecuted for exercising his core constitutional powers. Justice Sonia Sotomayor blasted the ruling in a scathing dissent, warning that it insulates the commander-in-chief from criminal prosecution, no matter how he uses his official powers.
The Supreme Court did not accept former President Trump's argument that immunity requires the prosecution to be shut down entirely.
On Trump's social media network shortly after the decision was released, he posted, "Big win for our Constitution and democracy. Proud to be an American." Nicole Skanga, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
President Joe Biden's campaign said in a statement that the Supreme Court's immunity ruling doesn't change the facts about the events of January 6th. Hunter Biden is suing Fox News over a mini-series it aired about his legal troubles. The suit was filed in New York State court on Sunday. Biden accuses the network of smearing him and unlawfully publishing intimate images of him. The 6-part miniseries, a dramatized mock trial, appeared on Fox's digital streaming service. The president's son threatened to sue in April, and the network took down the miniseries. But the lawsuit claims promotional materials for the miniseries are still on Fox News linked pages. The judge declared a mistrial in the Karen Reed murder case Monday afternoon. The development adds new uncertainty to a case that has garnered national attention. The ruling came after the jury was giving what lawyers call a dynamite charge in an attempt to break the deadlock after nearly a week of deliberations. 45-year-old Karen Reed is accused of drunkenly striking her Boston police officer boyfriend, John O'Keefe, with her vehicle and leaving him to die in the snow. She pleaded not guilty to charges of second-degree murder. A Category 4 hurricane makes its way through the Caribbean. Which countries are in its path? When we come back.
And we definitely have wet conditions for your morning commute, but we still got more action going for your evening commute possibility, and that it may extend into July 4th and 5th. More rain may be coming. We'll time it out and break it down, all that for you, coming up on your next First Warning weather update after the break.
At Bygoff and Rohde, we know reputation is important, and it can affect your case's outcome. If you want your case to be taken seriously, you need lawyers who are taken seriously. By Goffin Rohde, serious injuries need serious lawyers.
To me, it's the worst thing a parent can face. My daughter was pregnant and she was about to lose her baby. Because of the extreme abortion ban in her state, we were about to lose her as well. Doctors were not even allowed to help Mandy until she was near death. I'm conservative, but that makes no sense. An extreme abortion ban almost killed my daughter. A national abortion ban would be devastating for all families.
I'm sure it's got to be frustrating for somebody to show up at their hearing place and they're closed, or maybe they can't get in for a while. Even if you didn't get your hearing aids with us, we'd be happy to take a look at them. We service and repair many different makes and models of hearing aids.
If your hearing aid is still under warranty, we can do some warranty work for you there, even if you didn't get them from us.
If you are looking for a new hearing center, we've been here for a long time and we take all insurances.
Better Hearing Center on Alaska, next to St. Pat's Church.
For over 40 years, La Crosse Glass and Overhead Door has been the go-to company for anything glass and door. We offer a large stock inventory of CEHI garage doors to help you find the perfect fit. As a locally owned business, we take pride in our work and always get the job done. From commercial glass and glazing to residential glass and CEHI garage doors, we have the experience and expertise to help you. Call or visit our website today.
Craving authentic Mexican flavors? Look no further than Señor Villa. At Señor Villa, we bring the taste of Mexico to your table every day. Join us for our unbeatable $5 lunch specials packed with flavor and value. And don't miss our nightly specials where the fiesta never ends. Señor Villa, where great food meets great value. Visit us today. Señor Villa, the taste of Mexico you've been craving.
Is your personal injury lawyer trying to sell you a settlement that you don't think is fair? You need a lawyer who won't settle your case just to move on to the next one. Get the full compensation you deserve. Get by Goffin Rohde.
Proper installation of your new windows make a difference. The team at Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions are factory trained to make sure your windows are installed to last. Call or stop into the showroom for your free estimate.
Thank you for watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
A dangerous Category 5 hurricane is roaring across the eastern Caribbean. The storm has become even stronger. The National Hurricane Center warned Monday evening. Beryl first made landfall in Grenada earlier today, where it has caused widespread destruction. Now it's moving through the Windward Islands and Barbados with winds reaching 155 miles per hour. Now it's still unclear if Beryl will pose a threat to the U.S. after it moves on to other parts of the Caribbean and Mexico over the next few days. Well, a little calmer over here in our region with some rain expected this evening and tomorrow morning. Let's send it over to Greg for the latest on that. Greg.
Yeah, we definitely got rain coming back in the forecast. We've had this pattern since June. It really hasn't come and gone here, but we do have the wet conditions, especially about midnight to about 9 a.m. Gets a little iffy as you get past 8 a.m. Still some precipitation, but I think it'll be a lot drier as we go from 10 until noon. Then the next round is basically from about 4 p.m. until about midnight. Not the entire period will be wet, but that's the time frame we're looking at. The next line or a couple lines to potentially come through with the front. And then dry Wednesday mostly, and Thursday, 4th of July, looks dry for at least the first half. There's a lot of questions going on in the second half, and it does look wet for Thursday night and Friday. But here's the first couple little lines or areas of showers and a few thunderstorms potentially in that. That's just some light rain amounts probably for the next couple hours. We'll see breaks here and there, but not expecting to see too much as that passes through in the next couple hours. It's really after midnight when all that activity out to the west begins to consolidate into one area and begins to push towards the area probably after 1 a.m., and we're going to see that continuing from 1 all the way through the morning commute. And this potentially could be heavy amounts of rainfall, especially as you go further south of the area, less likely as you go further north. Now, as we get closer to 6 to 7, there will be still some showers and thunderstorms passing through the area through 8, but it's more hit and miss. So once we get past about 7, a lot of areas will remain dry, but you still might see a shower or thunderstorm, but the steady rainfall will probably be done with. And then as we go through noon and in the early afternoon hours, mainly cloud cover will be the story. A few showers, but I think a lot of areas will stay dry until about 3 to 4. And then we're watching that area right now kind of line up just to the south of Preston. It'll lift north towards La Crosse about 4 to 5. That could be the next line of showers and thunderstorms, potentially strong, but heavy rainfall we'll keep an eye on. Further north, looks dry right now. This could change. We could see this lift more further north or south, but the time frame is right after 4. This will come through about 6 to 7, and then I think after that time frame, once this passes further south and east of the area, it's more going to be showers and a few storms, but I don't think the heavy rainfall and severe threat will be pretty much diminished or at least pushed further south of the area. Further north, probably just cloud cover and some showers continuing to probably about midnight. Once we get past about 10, everything shifts east, and we got some clearing skies. Actually, it'll start to push up to the northwest, so that activity will be pretty much diminished. Now, rainfall amounts through 9 a.m. We're really going to keep an eye on this area. 1 to 1.5 inches potentially could line up where the heaviest amounts of rain are really I-90 south. Less as you go further north, but this could change. It could push further north, but that's the idea right now. Now, once we get past 9 a.m., there's not a lot of precipitation from 9 to probably about 3 o'clock. And then afternoon, we're going to keep an eye on where this line sets up, because right now it's La Crosse south. If it pushes further north, obviously the heavier rainfall amounts will push there, but it's a tight little gradient of about a 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches depending on it. And we'll have to keep an eye if some of these areas get repeated rounds. We could lead to some flooding issues, especially if we get a lot of rain in the morning. So that's what we're looking at for rainfall amounts. Severe threat, it'll be right to that line in the evening. If it pushes further north, it could be a wind threat, but right now it's going to stay probably to the south. So flooding will be the bigger deal. But for tonight, we're just going to see the showers, thunderstorms come more numerous, widespread as we go throughout the morning. Then as we look at the rest of Tuesday, it's the afternoon, evening, dry for the most part Wednesday, and then showers, thunderstorms come back Thursday and Friday. Too early to say if Friday is going to be an all washout, but fireworks for Thursday night are kind of in jeopardy with the rainfall that'll be expected, and the active pattern continues. So
is this a cooler start to July? Like usually
it is cooler.
90s,
Our average high right now should be about the mid-80s, so we are going to be running a little bit average. So
yeah, I was wearing a cardigan this evening. It's chilly out. Have it made up here. All right, thank you, Greg. Coming up in sports, the Brewers looking to stay hot out in Colorado. Plus, it was a beautiful night for some Legion baseball. Jacob is up next.
News 8 Now Sports is brought to you by Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, with 6 locations of fun.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
How much I weigh is nobody's business.
But Eric Hovde wants to make it his.
Eric Hovde thinks that if you're overweight, insurance companies should charge you more.
There should be consequences to those personal choices. Fine, you want to do that? Your health care is going to cost more.
How insulting is that?
Hovde would increase health care costs for 1 out of every 3 people in Wisconsin.
Eric Hovde, what the hell is wrong with this guy?
Ever have one of those days? Yeah, one of those days. We're here to make your day brighter. Q Ultra's A+ accounts, turning bad days into A+ days. Say hello to convenience and security with online and mobile banking, contactless debit cards, and mobile wallet. Plus, better rates, no minimum balance, and no fees. Make every day an A+ day. Open your account online today or stop by your local Ultra office. Ultra Federal Credit Union, helping you live your best life, one stress-free day at a time.
Traditional fall protection devices alert you about potential falls. So does Nomo. But Nomo does more. With Nomo, you can also check what matters most. Mom out of bed? Opened the fridge. Opened her medicine cabinet. A normal day is good to know. But Nomo can alert you when Mom's day isn't quite normal. That's when you need to know. And Nomo does all that without cameras. No more, worry less. Nomo Smart Care. N-O-M-O Smart Care.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports.
Well, with the 4th of July coming up later this week, that means Viroqua is hosting their annual Legion Baseball Tournament. Bunch of games all weekend long, but before that starts up tonight, the 138ers were going up against the Post 68 Grasshoppers. Let's go to Viroqua Park Bowl. 138ers with an early lead, but the Grasshoppers trying to make a comeback. 2 runners on for Bryce Lenzendorf. He lines out to left field. That scores a run on the sac fly, but Prairie still trails. 5th inning, Viroqua trying to add some insurance, and they do it in this form of small ball. Braden Peterson with a squeeze bunt. The throw to first in time, but he can't find the bag. Everyone's safe. Viroqua leads 5-1. Hoppers down to their last out, but with a runner on, Brady Lenzendorf lines one through to center. That scores a run, now a 3-run game, but that's as close as they would get as Viroqua closes it out 5-2, the final in that one. Over on the south side of La Crosse, the A's were hosting Sparta Post 100. First inning, first runner on, second for Waylon Hargrove. Chopper to third. Gonna be a nice play by the defense, but the throw goes high and the A's take the lead. Next batter then, Landon Teachout steps in and he lines out to right field. That drops in for a base hit. A's take a 2-0 lead. Second inning in Sparta making some noise. They draw 3 walks with the bases loaded as they take a 3-2 lead. Then later in the second, bases still going to be loaded, and David Fabry lines one to the corner and left. 2 runners come in to score, but only one would count as the runner missed home plate. The A's get out of the inning, and they would rally for an 11-9 win. All right, beautiful night for some Northwoods League baseball. Mankato facing off with La Crosse. Moondogs up 1-0 in the first, but Case Sanderson brings in R.J. Hamilton on the blooper to left. Next batter, Ryan Kucherak, and he is going to barrel one up to deep left center. Not enough oomph on it, though, to leave the yard as he's in safely with a double. Same frame, bases loaded for Sebastian David. He sends a grounder to short, but on the double play attempt, the first baseman pulls his foot off, trying to stretch, and La Crosse makes it 2-0. Bottom of the second now, it's Sanderson up once again, and he's coming in clutch again. That shot finds the right field grass. Gable Mitchell wheels it home to grow the lead to 3, but here comes Mankato. Casey Sorge fights one off that lands into fair territory. Moondogs would score 2 on that one. La Crosse would go on to take this one, though, by a final of 10-8. All right, day full of baseball. How about the Brewers in Denver, down 3-0 in the 4th until Jackson Churio comes in clutch with the bases loaded, bringing in 2. Then William Contreras is up at the plate, and he is going to put a good swing on that pitch. And the thin air can't keep that one in the ballpark. Solo shot gives Milwaukee the lead. Then after a Christian Yelich triple, Willie Adames, he is going to deliver, tying this one up once again. This was a back-and-forth wild game, and the new Brewer Eric Haas is going to deliver here, giving the visitors the lead, but the Rockies would force extra innings, and in the 10th, Brewers had a runner on third with 1 out, but failed to score him. Rockies with a chance to win in the bottom of the 10th. And in the Copa America, the U.S. men's national team had their work cut out for them as they faced the team Uruguay, and the Americans would end up falling in this game, thus ending their run in the tournament. U.S. only managed 3 shots on goal, and a controversial call on a potential offsides was the difference. Panama did take down Bolivia, though, so a draw would have still sent the U.S. packing. So that ends that one. Yeah. Brewers out in Colorado, though. You saw them on Saturday. What'd you think?
It was my first time going to a Milwaukee Brewers game, my first time in Milwaukee, and I loved all of it. I loved the city. I loved the stadium. Like, I love going to, I've been to like over 10 plus stadiums in my travels. But yeah, the roof was open, had a nice breeze. I was sitting in a Cubs section. Yeah. So there was a lot of cheering going on for them because Brewers unfortunately lost that night. But who ended up winning that
Brewers
series?
Won the series?
They did. Okay, good. All right, awesome. I guess I was bad luck, but I really enjoyed my time. Yeah, but a good experience nonetheless. Good. All right. Okay, we'll take another look at your forecast right after this.
On these trails, I find the middle ground and get things moving. I've done that as a state lawmaker, and it's what I'll do in Congress. I'll work with both parties to get things done for workers and families. I'm Katrina Shanklin, and I approve this message.
Pilgrims is growing, and we want you to be part of a successful, stable, and safe company. We're offering higher wages and more pay incentives than ever before. Stop into our recruitment office any day to apply, or walk in on Wednesdays for an immediate interview. Help us feed the world while we provide you a safe work environment, stable and essential employment, and steady pay. Apply at pilgrims.com today or anytime at 502 West Main Street, Arcadia, Wisconsin.
Hey, Dominic here to ask, do you love salt but need to cut back on all that sodium? Mini Mini Salt by Pleasing is the answer and is recommended by doctors and dietitians for those on low sodium diets. It tastes like regular salt but with so much less sodium. Use it just like your table salt. Great on corn on the cob, tomatoes, watermelon, and yeah, you could even use it on French fries and everything else you love to salt. Be sure to get your Mini Mini Salt by Pleasing and 40 other blends at the Pleasing Outlet Store on Ward Avenue, La Crosse. Get out of here.
At River Valley Remodelers, we know that the bathroom is the most personal space in your house. That's why we don't come in with preconceived ideas or cookie-cutter installs. We'll sit down and talk with you about your needs and dreams. Whether it's a tub or shower or an entire bathroom design, we'll take the time to talk with you and get things just the way you want it. For a limited time, get a free shower door or a color upgrade with your shower purchase. So let's talk about the most personal room in your house. River Valley Remodelers. Improve your home, build our community.
I know how to get things moving in the state capitol, but in Congress, I'll also have the experience to stop bad ideas like the national abortion ban and stop attacks on our democracy. I'm Katrina Shankland, and I approve this message because our freedoms are on the line.
You expect more, so thank you for watching News 8 Now.
Coldplay welcomed Michael J. Fox on stage during their appearance at the Glastonbury Music Festival over the weekend. The actor played guitar with the band as they did the hit Fix You. Video of Fox and Coldplay playing the song was shared by the BBC. Coldplay lead singer Chris Martin says Fox's guitar playing character in the classic film Back to the Future was the inspiration for the group getting together. Fox, playing guitar from his wheelchair due to Parkinson's disease, described the event as, quote, mind-blowing. Okay, good for him, and that must have been a very memorable experience for both of them and the audience. Greg will have one final look at your forecast when we come back.
Come into comfort during the International Furniture 4th of July sales event. Get 40% off all Norwalk Furniture special orders and up to 50% off select floor samples. The Tri-State's largest Norwalk Furniture showroom is at International Furniture, I-90 Exit 2, La Crosse.
Wow, Forest Berry Fudge is amazing. This is melting in my mouth.
Dill pickle? Whoa, that's actually good.
Holy fudge. This is the best thing ever.
Expressions brought to you by Valley Fudge and Candy. Find us in Coon Valley, Wisconsin, or order online today.
Lane's Farm and Fleet's 4th of July sale is going on now, so celebrate and save with great summer deals throughout the store. Like men's work and sport pocket tees, $12.99. Rewards members save an extra $2. 36-pound bags of Estate lawn fertilizer, $29.99. And select dog treats are on sale, 20% off. In a rush? Place your orders online at farmandfleet.com and pick your items up in our convenient drive-thru in just 1 hour.
You're thinking about new windows and doors. I've been thinking about new windows and doors for over 40 years. You're thinking about the best window at the best price. I'm thinking about the best window at the best price for you. The best quality installed by professional installers at a fair price. If you're planning new windows and doors, you owe it to yourself to contact the Board Store Home Improvements for a prompt free estimate. You'll be glad you did. Contact us today.
Enjoy time with your family by financing your adventurous side with Union State Bank.
Whether you are looking to finance your dream home, boat, snowmobile, UTV, vehicle, or camper, we can make your dreams become a reality. Contact one of our lenders in West Salem or Black River Falls for all your loan financing needs. Make life even more enjoyable by banking with Union State Bank. Union State Bank, where customers and community come first. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Come into comfort during the International Furniture 4th of July sales event. Get 40% off all Norwalk Furniture special orders and up to 50% off select floor samples. The Tri-State's largest Norwalk Furniture showroom is at International Furniture, I-90 Exit 2, La Crosse.
Well, tomorrow for the Drivecast, that's probably what it's going to look like for a lot of areas, and we'll keep an eye on some heavy rain potential as we go into the evening hour, but we also could see heavy rain in the morning too, so definitely keep alert on that. Otherwise, dry Wednesday. Unfortunately, it does look wet for 4th of July, at least tonight.
Okay, well, get those umbrellas ready for tomorrow, everyone. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.